We've discussed in a previous video what the greatest challenge to growing in prayer is. Today we want to talk about the most common temptation. It's very simple, it's very insidious, but it goes along these lines. I don't have time. I have so much to do. I just don't have time to pray, or to pray for an extended period of time. Now, here's the catch. How many of us find by the end of the day that because we have not prayed, we've done absolutely everything we wanted to do? That's not often our experience, is it? How many of us are saying, oh, I'm really glad I didn't pray today because I was able to do everything I wanted to do? Pope John Paul II, not only an amazing pope, but a great mystic and teacher and evangelist and pastor. Here's what he says about that temptation. Ours is a time of continual movement, which often leads to restlessness with the risk of doing for the sake of doing. We must resist this temptation by trying to be before trying to do. Because we live in a pagan culture, a very dysfunctional culture that has reduced everything to function, to productivity. Your worth and my worth is directly related to what and how much I can produce. That's what our world has valued and puts before us. Now, Christianity is completely contrary to that. Your worth and mine is in who we are as sons, as daughters. And certainly it is about a purpose. We have a purpose. We have, in fact, a mission in Christ Jesus as Christians. But our worth is not dependent on what we produce, but rather on who we are. Pope St. John Paul II then goes on to refer to the account in Luke of Martha and Mary. We know the account. He appears there. Martha busies herself with the task of hospitality, with those responsibilities, whereas Mary sits at his feet and begins to listen to his teaching. Now, before too long, Martha gets upset with Mary for not helping her. And so, interestingly, she doesn't go to Mary, but she goes to the Lord. And she says to the Lord, essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, Lord, look at Mary's not helping. There's a lot to do here. This whole responsibility is falling on my shoulders, and I need some help. And tell Mary to get up off the floor and to do her part and to help me. Interestingly, most of us would think, well, that might be a reasonable request, but Jesus doesn't concur. He actually says to Martha something quite different and quite challenging to the mindset of our culture, right? Martha, he has to call her name twice to get her attention. Martha, you are busy and anxious with many, many things, but only one thing is needful. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. Jesus tells Martha that Mary has chosen the better part. That's key. She's chosen it. It's not a fluke. It's not as though, oh, well, Martha, this is Mary's week to sit at my feet. Next week, you guys will swap and she'll be busy with the hospitality and you can sit at my feet. He doesn't say that. He says she has chosen the better part. And in fact, he confirms that there's really only one thing needful. There are many other things we can do, but there's only one thing needful. And it's what? To sit at the Lord's feet, to gaze upon him, and to listen to him teach, to receive from him all that God has to give us. And that reflects the mystery of prayer, of personal prayer in particular, and the abundant life that is promised to those who choose the better part. Friends, prayer deals with the supernatural realm, and that supernatural realm opens up to those who pray. Healing, deliverance, wisdom to guide us and be directed, discernment to know, to discover God's will that we might choose it and embrace it, peace, hope, restoration, courage in the face of persecution or trials, purpose, discovering our purpose, and in time even joy. Even joy is possible for those who pray. Intimacy with the Lord. Friends, only one thing is needful. Those aren't my words. Those aren't our words. That's the wisdom of the Son of God himself. Only one thing is needful. So we encourage you as Jesus, and on his behalf, if you will, to choose the better part. You won't regret it.